going on, everybody? This is Cabale with Cabale Media, and in today's video, we are going to discuss how to be an effective email marketer. Stay tuned. A lot of questions I get. Well, happy Friday to everyone. I'm actually shooting this on a Friday, so it'll be another Friday, because every Friday, videos will be dropped somewhere between 2 and 5 p.m., but we'll see how that goes. But today I am shooting this on a Friday, so happy Friday, everyone. We just survived a 4.8 earthquake. People in California are laughing at us, but when you guys get 3 inches of snow at your airport and it closes down, then we'll talk. Other than that, a common question I get when it comes to my clients is, why isn't their email strategy working? And to be quite honest with you, a lot of the reason, or a simple reason why their email strategy isn't working, is because they've been doing the same thing for a long time. Testing to me is always one of the biggest parts of the equation when it comes to being an effective email marketer. Try saying that 3 times fast. There's a lot of variables when it comes to getting the exact template you need in order to increase your return of investment. So we've discussed this before in other videos. So whether the test be colors, graphics, time of day, time of week, CTAs, subject lines, different layouts of emails, people who have bought in a certain time period, people who haven't bought, new customers, old subscribers, win backlist, automations. There are so many things you can test, and it's just really a matter of what your current analytics say and the results you're trying to get. Obviously, everybody is in business to make money, so increasing sales, getting more subscriptions, anything that's really bringing in income is what you're looking to do. I wanted to do this sort of kind of spitting out what comes to my mind instead of working off a plan and a script, because I think it would actually flow naturally to speak about what I've experienced over the last 16, almost 17 years in email marketing. Years ago, there wasn't things like MailChimp and all the great software that people are using now. So these things started to come up when I was working in something called ExactTarget, which is now Salesforce, that a lot of people use. And Salesforce, Pardot, is a very complicated platform that I don't work in a lot, but I have worked in the past. I primarily work with a lot of the current ESPs, email service providers, such as MailChimp, Brevo. I mean, the list goes on. So ActiveCampaign, HubSpot, Klaviyo, however which way you want to pronounce it. So they're all kind of the same thing, but they do all have their idiosyncrasies, different things about them, pros, cons. It really depends on what your goals are and what your company needs. So I've noticed that a lot of newer companies, B2C, like to use Klaviyo. Some older companies seem to love Constant Contact. When it comes to maybe an easier platform, people use MailChimp, and then they use things like Zapier to make sure that all the automatic processes they need are coming through Zap. So you really have to sit and analyze what email service provider is best for you, how many subscribers you have, because that determines the price. Are you looking for things like a CRM? Will your team utilize a CRM? So if there is a sales team, definitely could use something like that. Do you want something that is very heavy in automations like ActiveCampaign? A lot of different tools that make it go from left to right, up to the whole thing. I think keeping your email marketing as simple as possible is probably one of the best things you can do. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't try the current trends. Use the current trends. The old things that brought your email marketing to what it once was still works. You just need to know how to tweak at the right time. So after this long introduction, how do we become an effective email marketer? One thing that I do encounter a lot is that companies do like to talk a lot about themselves, which is great. It is part of the equation to let them know that you are the subject matter expert, you are the company or the person they should be talking to in order to achieve the results they're looking for. ultimately these emails are not about you. Think about human psychology. When people speak to you, they want to speak to you about themselves, right? 9 out of 10 times, people don't care and don't want to hear about you. They want you to solve their problem, their issue. Starting off with the first thing when it comes to being an effective email marketer is to solve problems. They're coming to you because they have a need, whether that be financial needs, health needs, they want a new outfit, they're looking to buy a new car, they want to get better. They're essentially coming to you so you can solve their problem. That's the first issue. You have to address their problem immediately in order for them to stay interested. There's hundreds and thousands of problems that people have. What are you going to do to address that problem? And to address that problem, you have to have an amazing hook. That hook can be your subject line. Something that's going to reel them in. That's why ads work particularly well. It's really triggering something in them that's going to make them want to choose you instead of the competition. For those who haven't picked up on what I'm doing, because I started with P, this is something called the PASO framework. This has been in marketing for years. There's also something called the PASTOR framework, which I recommend as well. And I'll put all the information here so you could take a look at it. It's a framework that helps you sell. It's a marketing framework, and it's really meant for copywriting, which a lot of people have to do anyway. Emails are copywriting. You are selling a product through a digital space, through words. You could add a video all you want, but if you can invoke an emotion just by words alone, you're selling no problem, because years ago there wasn't digital ads. You would have to do everything right through marketing. So marketing meaning your traditional marketing, direct mail, and I'm sure people still get, I almost said postcards. Yeah, direct mail sent to your house. So that could be local shops or anything really. Lay out the problem, and the more you can paint out their problem and make them feel it, you're most likely going to get them to convert. Hey, that's agitate. Really try to, I'm laughing at this because agitation is a real thing. You've identified the pain, which is the problem. Now, what can you do to make it more painful? Let's take something that's common. Babies get eczema, and you see these ads that will show baby skin, and you think about, okay, your baby has eczema. We'll use this as the framework. We'll use this as the example. Your baby has eczema, and you have these sleepless nights. Your babies have these sleepless nights. You feel bad for your baby. Now what? How do you agitate the problem? You can say things like, you go out in public, your baby's skins get dry, your baby doesn't stop crying. Now what do you have to do? You have to take out the ointment. You have to do this. You have to do that. And it kind of makes you feel sad and mad at the same time. I hate to use this as an example, but this is a common issue that parents come across. You see all these formulas, all these lotions, and then sometimes they just don't work. You go to the doctor, a million different treatments, and nothing seems to work. So agitating to a point where they're starting to feel more of the emotion gets them a step closer to wanting to purchase your product or service. But one thing to note is that you don't want to really agitate your customer to the point where they're just angry. You just need to find them a solution. Agitate them enough, but don't piss them off. S, providing the solution. What are you going to do to solve their problem? I have the greatest ointment. This ointment will do this. Saying I have the greatest ointment is probably actually the wrong way to go because you're talking about yourself. But you have this product that will cure the baby's eczema in this much time in comparison to other leading brands. This brand is more inexpensive, but does more for your baby. Now I'm just making things up in my head, but you have to make it all about the customer and how it's going to solve their issue. The reality of it is that people like to talk about themselves. They don't really care how long you've been in business as long as you can solve their problem. Yes, things like social proof help. Yes, things like pricing helps. But if you use the right language all the time or most of the time, you're more likely to get a sale than talking about yourself because, like I said, nobody really cares. When you're providing the solution, you need to get your potential customer to be like, yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Your solution can now potentially solve my problem. Invoke the emotion enough, just don't get them angry. Remember, your solution or your service is fixing their problem. We're not talking about how great we are, even though we know we're great, but you always have to have the solution. Now, always remember that your revenue comes with as much service as you can provide to someone. So obviously, if you can provide a great amount of service, that in exchange will bring you more of a return of investment. And then finally, you have, the outcome. What are they going to get from using your solution? Your baby will now be eczema free. You now can do much more work because your baby is free of his itchiness. You can now do a million other things because now your baby is relieved. The outcome has to outweigh everything when it comes to their issue, their problem. The outcome is ultimately what's going to make them solve. And of course, this is more in the pastor framework, is the reaction. So it's the click now, the buy now, to let's collaborate together. Here's how we can work together in order to make this problem go away. So again, this is a pretty quick and simple video. Being an effective email marketer does take time and research. Always know that when you start with a new client, to research them a lot. Know what you're talking about. Ask them for previous work that has been done in the past. Look at their competitors and be very specific as to what you need in order to make their emails, or if you're currently an email marketer and you're wondering why your business is not doing that well, or what you need to do in order to increase your sales. You always have to be solving a problem for your potential consumer or your consumer that you already have. If you're not serving a purpose or you're not making any money, there's not going to be a one-size-fits-all industry template for everyone. Now it seems like I'm going back on my words. There are basic standards as to what a good open rate is or what a bad open rate is, but try to get as niche as possible. Try to be as specific as possible. Look at their competitors. Don't look at them too much. To some extent, I think that caring too much about what others are doing will affect your email marketing. I think it's okay to take a look, get kind of a blueprint in your head, and then move along with it. I think the most success comes from when you're creating and not consuming and just doing what comes to your head. The faster you make a decision, the better your outcome will be, in my experience. And the more you keep creating, something is bound to work. Again, just a matter of testing. It takes a lot of work. Failure only happens when you quit, and you only need one good idea for you to become a success. So, without getting too into it, if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments down below. You can email me here. I will also put the links to the Pastor and Pastor Framework in the description. Go to cabalemedia.com, put the link here, CABALE media, MEDIA.com for your free 30-minute consultation. I would love to hear from you. And I don't like to use the word guarantee, but I am pretty sure that my team and I can help you. We just have to get it to another level that it hasn't reached before. Anyway, this is Janice Cabale. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the button. I'll drop a button right here. Also, you can hit up our Instagram, our Pinterest, and our TikTok. It's just a shorter version of these videos if you just want to get the video in bite size in order to get the main objective and main point. But as always, this is a shorter video. We will have more videos down the line that are tutorials and my opinions of particular email service providers and how they have helped me. We will go into keyword research and all that to make sure that your email marketing is effective, because other digital marketing channels like SEO, YouTube, and yes, my all-time favorite, social media, do play a part to some extent. But remember, you own your email list. Don't build your business on all these social media platforms, and you'll be surprised how great you do. Number one priority, always speak to the customers, solve their problem, build up that email list, and there is no reason your business shouldn't grow. Again, this is Janice Cabale with CabaleMedia.com, and I'll see you at the next video.